acquired. Enemy armor is destroyed. This vehicle has had it.
What up guys, Dreadshells here and welcome back to World of Tanks. I hope all of you guys are going to have a awesome weekend. At the time that this video will be released, it will be Saturday most likely. Today we're going to be looking at a game that I had in my LTTB on Siegfried line, Assault Offense, and this will be number 2 in the video series called Carrying Hard. I haven't really defined any absolute parameters for games and matches that will go into that series, other than either comebacks from being down a lot or the game being really close, and me being able to contribute a lot to the outcome of the battle. So those general parameters for these kinds of games. Now, before all of you guys jump on the gold spammer wagon, you'll notice that I have no AP loaded. I have 37 rounds of APCR loaded and 5 rounds of HE ammo. And the reason I have this loadout along with the food is I'm actually testing the performance of the LTTB with this loadout versus the performance of a standard ammo loadout like maybe 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 normal ammo to premium ammo ratio, and without food. So I'm about a quarter way through the test. I'll be playing 100 games in each loadout, and then I'll be sitting down and comparing the stats, and hopefully I'll be able to share those results with you guys, and hopefully you guys will be able to find that interesting on how the different loadouts compare performance-wise. But enough of that, let's just get started with the game. As you can see, it's a really nice matchup here. There's only 3 tier 8s on each side. It seems to be a pretty common theme. I was getting a little frustrated there. I remember at the beginning of playing this battle that leopard wasn't letting me go through over here to the edge of the map. To K8 is my goal. But yeah, it's a really nice matchup. It's a really common theme in games where the higher the tier you are, the more likely and the more often you seem to have an influence on the outcome of the battle. And I'm going to, despite the really big result of this battle, I'm going to be making several micro and tactical errors in this battle, and I'll be pointing them out as we go. The first one is occurring right now. I'm kind of wasting my time shooting at these 2 heavily armored tank destroyers when they're facing me frontally. I really only had one narrow window of a likely pen, and that's when the YAG-88 was turning about 45 degrees to me, and I had sort of a shot on the side of a superstructure, but it wasn't a very good shot, and I was just wasting my time and my ammo shooting at that. Luckily, that Type 64 was tracked and had taken enough damage that I was able to secure the kill with a blind shot there. And once again, kind of wasting my shot peeking down the street when these tanks are going to be most likely be facing the same angle roughly that I'm going to be shooting at. If you look on the mini-map here, you see that this IS-3, T-37, and Leopard are all kind of in the same angle as I am, so the enemy tanks aren't going to be likely to be turning for me to get side shots. So it was a waste of time me sitting there. I wasted about a good minute plus just sitting there waiting for shots when I should have relocated over here right away. Quite amazed that the Type 58 doesn't spot me crossing that gap there. Really lazy shot there, using auto aim, not feathering the shot to see if I still had an outline on his tank as he was on the corner of the building there. Now we have some really nice shots on this AMX M445, the Tier 7 French Heavy. It's kind of a weird tank. It's kind of like a second line support tank, and it doesn't really do anything particularly well. It doesn't have armor. The gun is okay on it, but it's not one of my favorite tanks that I've played. Unfortunately there, the AMX 1375 on the enemy team is spoiling our backside sniping plans. And I'm going to pause the game here real quick so I can explain one of the fundamental tactical errors that I'm making as far as positioning wise. So first of all, I wasted a lot of time shooting down this street in this F7 grid square where this AT7 and YAG 88 are. But I eventually got the hint and came over here and started putting pressure onto this corner of the city area here in F0. But now I'm going to be making a really bad positioning error. I need to be watching my team here and anticipating. You need to be watching the mini-map and look at where your teammates are surrounded. And not only just seeing where your team has the enemy tank surrounded, right? Right now, since it's assault defense, all these tanks that are dug in here on the F line, it's all defensive positions, right? They're not assaulting us. They're not being proactive. They're only reacting to what me and my teammates are doing, right? Where the enemy team is being proactive is here up on the C in this D line, and also on the vertical on the 6 line here, kind of in the center of the city. And they're isolating several of my teammates here. And what I should have done and don't do till much later is reacted much sooner and driven back out to the field, kind of where this KV2 is, so I can start putting sniper fire into these heavies here that are sitting on the 6 line. Unfortunately, I don't react very quick, and several of my teammates die without me being able to put some shots in to make their death worth it. So that is one of the fundamental tactical errors that I make in this game. So instead, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting some damage and shots here over on this side of the map here as we put several more rounds into the Type 58 here. Once again, another lazy shot there on the AMX 1375. I rely on auto aim way too much, and it's been a habit that I've been trying to break. 1375 spotted me there as my camo rating dropped after I fired, so I was a little bit too close to him there. And now I'm finally getting the hint that I'm in a really bad position. I'm getting shots, I'm getting damage, right? But it's pointless damage because the targets that I'm shooting aren't being they aren't the proactive enemy tanks, right? They're not the ones that are dictating the outcome of the battle. Unfortunately, they don't secure the kill on the IS, and then we do. It turns out that the IS had stayed in the last position that he was at, and as I was trying to take a shot at the Tiger II, the IS was directly in the line of fire between me and him, so I was able to kill the IS, so that was kind of amusing at the time. And so right now I'm trying to relocate. I got a SU-152 for sniping support behind me. I have an IS-3 over here, still in the last position that I was at, kind of acting as an anvil on the southern part of the map. And the SU-152 behind me is getting some really nice sniper shots into the AT-7 that I had spotted. Fortunately, rush that shot, don't wait for it to fully aim, so I miss the first shot. And kaboom! We ammo-racked the YAG 88 for over 1,000 HP. Our first shot must have damaged his ammo rack, and the second shot also hit the ammo rack and popped his cherry. Now we got a Tiger II here that's pushing down the 5 line in the field. So right now I'm not so concerned about getting damage just yet. I want to get my distance first so I can make sure that I won't get spotted firing. Once again, I have the SU-152 in the very top, or I guess the very bottom of the map, depending on how you're looking at it there. in K3. Not a very useful position, and for us as for our team, and didn't become useful until we started losing areas of the map. It's very important when you're playing a support type tank, which can be a heavy, medium, light, or tank destroyer. It doesn't matter. If you're the type of support type tank, it's really important for you to be positioning yourself to support your teammates as they're assaulting or as they're defending, and not after they're already dead. After they're already dead, the HP that and tank count that you lose is not worth it. We were able to spot the Type 58 there as he was making a push across the west, into the west side of the city, and so because we spotted him, our IS-3 knew that he was coming and was able to pull up and take a shot at him as he crossed that corner. Now I'm going to be making another tactical misplay here, and I'll pause the game. Right now I am trying to flank this T-29 here, and I'm assuming that the Panther M10 is still sitting camping up here somewhere here on the sea line. And I'm trying to put this T-29 into a pincer between me and my IS-3A teammate. I'm going to eventually be trying to wrap around here, and so I can shoot him from one side, and then my teammate can shoot him from the other side. Unfortunately, what's going to end up happening in here is I'm going to be lollygagging way too much, and my IS-3 teammate is going to be kind of conservative, a little overly conservative. He has a lot of his HP left there, and he kind of sits back and doesn't help me pincer and force this T-29 to be under more pressure. So I end up making this move in vain. And right away here, our the enemy Panther M10, I immediately should have reacted to this. I should have gone back right away. I'm going to pause the game here again. I am the fast mobile tank, right? The IS-3 is not a slow heavy by any means, but he's a lot slower than I am. And I have much more ability as far as my tank wise is to react to what's going on here. My SU-152 needs help, and I can easily drive back across the field here to get into draw range to shoot this guy so we can help tag team him. Unfortunately, I make a bad decision here, and I decide to end up trying to find the T-29. I need to be reacting to what's currently happening and not what might happen, so that's the mistake I made there. Right now I'm kind of feeling out to try and find where the M4043 is. I don't want to find him by surprise and him shotgun me and put an end to the game. Get a couple shots there in on the T-29. Unfortunately, he spots us with the second shot. If you're wondering why he didn't spot me the first time I fired, is because there's like some bushes and some trees in between me and him the first time I fired, so that kept me from getting spotted. But now I'm realizing my mistake. I realize that I need to run back down the 6 line and intercept the Panther M10. And as you can see here, as I spotted the Howdy on the ridgeline here and am stopping to put a couple shots into him, we only have 2 minutes left in the game, so another tactical error that I'm making here along with my IS-3 teammate here is that we're not trying to cap to force the enemy to react to us. And we both definitely have enough HP in order to trade effectively in that kind of engagement. Unfortunately, I'm taking a much more risky tactical decision here and deciding to try and win the game by killing all the tanks instead of by capping. So, but hey, no risk, no glory sometimes is how it works, right? But tactically speaking, it would have been much better for us to jump on cap, put cap pressure on them. Now there's not enough time left in the game to win by capping, so now we have to kill them by have to win by killing them. So I know that as I'm making this approach, into where the enemies were last spotted that I put at least 1, maybe 2 rounds into the arty. And pausing the game right here, I'm going to be holding my fire as I'm coming up over this ridge. Yes, we need to kill this T-29, but I know that the M40-43 couldn't have relocated back this way in the amount of time that I was down here on the 6th line shooting the Panther M10 and coming back. I would have spotted him as I was driving along the sea line, so I know that the M40-43 is still over here, especially since our IS-3 was kind of sitting here in this E8, E9 area, so the arty couldn't have run away here. So I know that the arty is sitting with the T-29 over here, and I'm going to be holding my shot to kill the arty first. Kill the low health tanks first. So I wait until I get around the T-29, secure the arty. I don't have to worry about the arty shotgunning me anymore. And since I was full health, I have a lot of HP to trade in this engagement with the T-29. Really bad shot there with auto aim. Now I'm struggling with gun depression here, the 3 degrees of gun depression. And I was able to out-traverse the T-29's turret as I had him tracked in my last shot. And I was able to secure the 6th and final kill of the game for Top Gun. Once again, kind of a sloppy engagement with the T-29 with a little bit of my positioning. I should have anticipated that I was going to have trouble depressing my gun. Since he was further down the slope than I was up here, I should have immediately anticipated that I need to get around to his side, as the LTTB has really poor gun depression, only 3 degrees, and it's part of the reason that people who don't find this to be one of their favorite tanks don't like it, is the poor gun depression. But how you work around the poor gun depression is the great mobility of the LTTB. Its horsepower to ton ratio is excellent, and its top speed is quite good as well at 68 kilometers an hour. So use the terrain to be wedging your tank in the direction that you need to get your gun down, and you'll be able to shoot your targets with not much problem usually. So I was able to contribute a lot to the outcome of winning this game. Made several major tactical errors and some micro tanking errors with my marksmanship, but overall I was able to react quickly enough to where I was able to stay at 1 step ahead of the enemy after they had killed this northern A5, A6 all the way to E5, E6 area of our team, and I was able to come back and help kill out the tanks that were pushing down the 5 line, and then end up wrapping around and cleaning up the isolated targets. Once again, a little slow on me coming back to intercept the Panther M10. Once he got spotted, I should have immediately run back and tried to help the SU 152, but I didn't. That was a misplay on my part. But overall, a very, very good game. And luckily, the final APCR shell that I had was the one that secured the kill on the T-29, and I had only HE ammo left, so that would have been pretty tough to secure the kill on him if I only had HE ammo. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this game and saw what the LTTB can do, relocating back and forth from side to side wherever it's needed to get vision or supporting fire and sniping fire, and just outmaneuver the enemy and outplay him in that manner. Thanks for watching this video, and good hunting.